What is perfectly legal, but creepy as heck? When I was a child, we had a creepy horrible neighbor that would harass my family constantly. One of the things he did was stand at the corner of his yard and videotape me playing in a pool with my friends. We were around 8. My parents called the police, but were told that it's legal if he's on his property. Edit, this was in the US and 20 plus years ago, so laws might be different by now. I had a neighbor like this growing up. He never creeper on me or my brothers. But one time my dad saw him up on his roof, looking into the bathroom window of the house next door, presumably watching the 16-year-old girl in there. My dad put a huge blue tarp up against our shed, fenced, like 10 feet tall, and told the entire neighborhood why. The guy complained, but couldn't do anything and eventually moved. The guy complained. I'm surprised he actually had the nerve to complain about not being able to peep into his neighbor's houses. Technically, you can stand on the sidewalk and stare into someone's house through a window. It's not illegal as long as you stay off of their property, but it's really freaking creepy. Hanging out in a public bathroom timing how long people pee. I swear to God, I did a lot of work in hospitals for a while. Big ducking hospitals with tons of bathrooms all over the place. For some goddamned reason. Regardless of what time or bathroom I selected to take a shit in, not 30 seconds after I sat down a janitor would knock on the door to clean the bathroom. It's not as if it was one janitor. Just some random janitor would inevitably need to clean whatever bathroom I was in as soon as I got comfy. It's like I was being stalked by the janitors. So now I'm trying to take a shit knowing full well there's somebody out there actively timing how long it takes. This just brought back a memory I tried to repress. I to work at a hospital of the time I was walking out of work, but got hit with the danger rumbles on my way out and had to clench and run to the nearest public bathroom. It's the largest one, but I blessed my stars it was mostly empty, as I was absolutely destroying the toilet. A housekeeper lady came in and starts going stall to give them the good cleaning. I'm sitting there sweating as a cursed colon won't stop, listening to her come closer and closer to my stall. She gets to mine, sees it's locked, moves on. But then after she finished all the rest she just stood there and waited as I'm ruining this toilet and just want peace while I die of dysentery. And I didn't want to have to come out of that stall after 10 minutes of atomic bombing it and have to face this woman before she took one look inside the stall and probably started crying. Mind you, I'm someone who normally will hold my shits in for hours to avoid pooping in a public bathroom, so this was my nightmare. 5 stars. Using the urinal next to me when there were plenty of other choices. How would you feel if the guy walks up to the urinal next to you and then midstream looks right at you and says, "Hey, nice watch"? How uncomfortable is that? Thanks, you should see my cock. That'll teach him. And if it doesn't, I'm in trouble. Parents using their kids for money. Example, YouTube kids channels. My favorite is when parents of autistic kids post shocking videos of their overwhelmed, distraught children having meltdowns under the guise of awareness. It's a bit horrific how little privacy kids get these days, especially when they are not aware of the full consequences that content can have for them. And this is why I don't post anything about my kid on Facebook or Instagram or other social media. I want him to be able to have embarrassing moments that will live firmly in the past, like how my childhood was, versus being memorialized forever on the internet. Parking across the street from an elementary school with binoculars. Technically not illegal, but you definitely get the cops called on you and make the news. I work in commercial construction and we build a lot of schools. When we complete a project, part of my job is to take drone photos of the completed building. Typically by the time I get around to taking these drone photos, school has already started. So on several occasions, I look like I'm just some random guy standing out in the parking lot, taking drone photos of an elementary school during a normal school day. It's not a great look. I've encountered the cops a couple of times, but they've always been pretty cool about it. You need a reflective vest and a clipboard, buddy, maybe a hard hat. In some states, it's actually legal to take upskirt pictures with your smartphone, as long as they are wearing panties. Super creepy as heck. I only know this because a judge ruled a guy innocent for doing just that because of a law that was worded a certain way. No clue if the law has changed to include upskirt pics. I've worked in construction and built some Walmart shopping centers and distribution centers. Had a site manager on a job tell me that Walmart used to have a super specific level of shine they wanted on their floors when they were finished and opened up for public shopping. However, with the ever increasing presence of cell phones and better cameras, they had to begin to dull the floors because people were able to just grab upskirts by taking pics of the floor under people. Nobody is saying you can't eat a banana, Terry, but you can't just stand on a street corner for 30 minutes and suck on it. You have to actually take a bite. I like bananas. I eat them a lot at work with lunch. In the military, I learned that when eating a banana, it's okay if you bring the banana to your face, not the other way around. Go ahead, try it. Bonus points if you make eye contact with someone while your mouth is slightly open with the banana headed for it. Never gets old. You have to turn it sideways and eat it like a bear eats a salmon. Remove the doubt. So my 2-year-old daughter went through a 3-month phase of only eating her banana sideways, but think like corn on the cob, one half all the way then the other. Saying, think of yourselves as sisters when introducing a much younger new wife to one's adult daughter. My father-in-law did this. WTF. No dad. I don't want to imagine you shagging my sister. Thank you very much. My dad is currently in an injury case against his old job. There's been a car outside his house filming him for the last couple months trying to catch him doing compromising things to disprove his injuries. That's very creepy. That sounds quite expensive. Yeah, but they really don't want to admit my dad's injuries are from 20 years of literally back-breaking labor. They already sent us some supposedly detrimental footage of my dad going to the store or getting gas. It was extremely disturbing to see that footage and realize what's happening. However, even yesterday we saw the same car parked outside. Be a shame if somebody came by and stuck a banana in their tailpipe. That would basically just turn the car into a shitty gun. Link. A national newspaper having a countdown for when a child actress becomes legal for sex. Answers to questions that will surely come. Yes. The Sun UK. Emma Watson. Using a laser rangefinder to ensure you stay outside the effective radius of a restraining order. Fortunately for the plaintiff, when the respondent is continually staying just outside of the distance specified in an order of protection, it is illegal and provides just cause to get arrested. Can you define just, so I can calibrate my second rangefinder? Sitting next to someone at a public transport even when there are other seats available. Or even better, as someone gets onto public transport you can move over and pat the seat next to you, inviting them to sit. Or, after they have taken their seat, you get up and sit next to them. I believe the act of cannibalism itself is legal, so long as you didn't murder anyone to do it. If your homie gives you his arm to gnaw on, it's fair game. Some dude lost his foot in an accident and somehow was allowed to bring it home after it was amputated. Ducker fried it up and invited his friends over, and they ate foot tacos. Far fetus. Edit. I strongly encourage anyone that upvoted this but is unaware of the reference. Go seek out the Teacher's Lounge if you have Stitcher Premium. It is the funniest improv podcast, in my opinion. And check out everything that Big Grand, the comedy improv group responsible for the Teacher's Lounge, has put out. They are so goddamn funny. If you don't have Stitcher, they have a website, begrandwebsite.com, and you can check out their stuff there and support them further if you enjoy what you see. I promise I have no affiliation with them, but I didn't want this undeservedly gilded comment to not somehow benefit them. Thanks for all the awards. Burritos obviously. Paparazzi. There's a heartbreaking video of Paris Jackson trying to run from Paps asking invasive questions about her dad who'd passed away. The way she just cries out please leave me alone as they stick cameras in her face. Terrible. It takes something, I swear that's in DNA, to want to work as a pap and feel no remorse. Hanging your doll collection from the trees in your yard using string made from human hair. Yeah. I'm gonna go to the Goodwill now and buy all the dolls I can find. Do you think the hoa will approve? Sure. September October Halloween got you cover. November December add Santa hats to them. January February make them cupids with wings and bows. March April Easterize them with flower crowns. May Mother's Day. Hang them in pairs. Big doll with small doll. June July give them American flags. August ignore the hoa letter. Repeat. Edit thanks for the awards kind strangers. And love all the ideas for August. According to my local grocery store, you can do Halloween for August. Trying to make your kid social media famous. Facing the wrong way in an elevator. Ugh, that is creepy. There's no wasted motion doing this either. You just elect to turn around after you get to your floor and exit, rather than when you enter. You can actually save energy by leaving the elevator backwards, which is creepier. This or entering backwards. Following someone. Just followed you on Reddit. Sorry, creep. The button was there. You were practically asking for it. It's technically legal to check if a door is locked, as long as you don't enter without permission. Edit depending on where you live this could apply to both houses and cars. Edit you won't find any laws permitting this activity, but laws associated with it are generally based on circumstantial evidence or rely on proving the suspect's intent. An arrest may be likely, but proving intent is difficult, and charges might not stick. Results may vary in your precinct. Laughing my butt off. This is like in Skyrim, where picking someone's pocket is fine, as long as you just look and don't try to take anything. Sticks hand in someone else's pocket, yay. No a-hole here. No thanks. This stuff sucks. Officer, I had no intent to steal from him once I knew what he had. Child beauty pageants. They're actually illegal in France since 2013 for age groups under 13 and 13. 15-year-old pageant groups are regulated. Sitting on a lake bed at night with a breather and no flashlight. I literally shuddered at the idea. Light is good. Light is lovely. Light is what stops the idiot fish from running into you, because apparently some of them just bonk around at night in the dark and cause your soul to leave its earthly vessel in terror. This one hits close to home. A good friend of mine lives in a major East Coast city. As a single woman, she is extra cautious. She was the victim of an own local Instagram celebrity this weekend. Basically, this guy follows people, guys and girls, around and records them. When they get annoyed and tell him to stop, he gets more and more obnoxious, trying to get a reaction. He is careful not to cross the legal line for stalking, etc., and does it in public. So be expectation of privacy. He then posts the inevitable freakout online. I'm not going to share the page my friend made the cut, because I don't want to grace this troll with the page views. I live in Baltimore, and we had a guy doing that a couple years ago. He got charged after a bunch of complaints. Not sure what happened to him though. My instinct was to downvote you solely on the basis of how much I hate that dude, haha. He pled guilty to 8 misdemeanor charges. The state dismissed 3 and the other 15 they put on hold, which means at this point they are no longer able to bring those charges against him. Now he lives in Virginia. Apparently. Had no worries at all. The only reason I knew of him was because he harassed my husband in Fells Point. Thank you for the update on his charges though. Dating a girl you adopted once she turns legal age and not in your care. Steven Tyler. In 1975. Tyler obtained guardianship of 16-year-old Julia Halcombe so that she could live with him in Boston. 91 they dated and took drugs together for 3 years. He also got her pregnant later. Yikes. MLMs. Though I think they'll be illegal soon enough. Edit MLM as in multi-level marketing. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's a reverse funnel system. I kid you not. I saw an MLM babe post once that called it a triangular business model. Those little kid beauty pageants. Awful. Child brides in some parts of the world. WTF is wrong with people? Thankfully it's not legal anymore, but where I'm from it was extremely popular to marry a girl as young as 10 or even younger. Usually the parents of the bride got property and money in exchange, basically selling their kid. It's just pure disgusting. Memorizing the age of consent in every state or country, and carrying a laminated card in your wallet that lists the relevant state code. Media outlets typically disguising it with comedy, putting up turns 18 on countdowns for child actresses. Natalie Portman was 13 when she got a countdown on her local radio station. Duck's sake, Mary-Kate and Ashley were like 4 on Full House when they got their countdown. Tracking. Whether it's Google, Facebook, the government, or whoever. Duck right off with that. I can go put up a camera with a giant lens and set it up to take pictures every 30 seconds while pointed at a popular playground full of children. While I also fly a drone taking pictures of the same playground. The act of taking pictures in public is not illegal, even if the subject doesn't want their picture taken. It's how the photos are used that determines if permission is needed. And as long as I'm using it for my own weird, creepy personal reasons, rather than trying to publish a book of them or put them in a movie, then it's not illegal. Of course this only applies in Canada and the US. Other countries may have different privacy laws, and you do need the appropriate drone license. But I could still do it all day every day. Sifting through someone else's garbage bins. Cops and collection agencies do it all the time to gather evidence. It's perfectly legal, as the bins are on the street, which is public. You can even turn it around and do it to the cops. They'll still try and throw the book at you, of course. But it's legal and the courts have ruled as such. Update. This got popular, so it's sire time. Please check your state's laws on this beforehand. They're all different, and some might supersede the Scottish ruling mentioned by you, damn the gorilla. Purity balls dances. That shit where girls pledge their virginity to their fathers until they are married. EWWWWW. Payday loan companies. Stalking someone doesn't have enough legal repercussions. Owning a collection of children's teeth. Staring into someone's window from the street to watch Jeopardy on their TV because your ducking mom cancelled cable when she found your vape. Amazingly specific. Suspiciously specific if you ask me. High school teachers dating students immediately after they graduate. Corporations influencing government via donations and the non-stop revolving door between the two. 1. Fossil fuel companies are preventing any real kind of progress to carbon reduction targets. 2. Pharmaceutical and medical companies blocking healthcare reform. Saying that 2 little kids would look great together as a couple. Robber killing the shit out of you with spoofed phone numbers every few minutes. Actually that is illegal, it's just extremely hard to track and deal with. A grown man giving expensive gifts to a teenage girl he's not related to or particularly close to. I came across this ask after reading a post where a woman said her husband gave their neighbor's daughter a 300 brooklette without discussing it with her, and the vibes were super creepy. Technically not illegal, but hella pedo vibes there. Edit. The price was 300 not 3000 though still creepy. Anyone wanting to read the story? Someone posted a link below. A big, fat, hairy middle-aged man wearing just a Speedo hanging out at a park eating pudding.